Now, come on, we've all got a sweet tooth, so I take it looking for a perfect dessert. That's beautiful, delicious, and so quick. Well, let me tell you, my rhubarb tart is gonna really up the ante on your typical dessert, especially at home. But I do have a confession to make. It may take a little longer than 10 minutes. Oscar, pan down, please. Puff pastry. This is store-bought puff pastry. Don't be worried about it. It's really good and so simple. We haven't got puff pastry. Short crust is equally as good. Beautiful marzipan, and that's the sort of fast-track substitute to making a frangipan. Lovely forced rhubarb, delicious, from Yorkshire. Blood orange, a little bit of honey, mascarpone cream cheese, almonds, a little bit of butter, and egg. And that should make the perfect tart. Right, let's have 10 minutes. Maybe plus 1 or 2 on the clock, please. Right, first off, take the back of your knife and just go down about 1 centimetre in. And what this does, it sort of literally starts to lift up the outside of these little rolled parcels of puff pastry. Now, like I said, this was store-bought, and all we're doing here is creating this little line, okay? And that will give you a sort of edge, it will give you a lift, and so when it cooks in the oven, it sort of creates this little moat. That keeps the juices in, and more importantly, okay, it helps to create an edge on your tart, okay? Now, you can go fancy and go along and sort of lift that up, but that there is fine. Now, the rhubarb, okay? Look at the size of that gap there, and slice there through, okay? And literally 1 stick per tart should be sufficient. And the beauty about these is that they are so sort of cheap, cheerful. You see rhubarb everywhere, especially across the summer, and boy, is it in abundance. I don't like peeling it because all that flavour is in the skin. Growing up with rhubarb, it was literally rhubarb crumble, rhubarb pie, you name it, we had it. Now, line these up. From there, take your brush and just lightly egg wash the outside of that puff pastry. That's gonna give it, okay, a really nice glaze, okay? And you'll see the difference, especially when they cook in 10 minutes, okay? It's quite thin, the puff pastry, it's already rolled out. That's how practical and easy these tarts are. They're very easy for a Sunday brunch, sort of pick-me-up dessert straight after. Pretty impressive when they come out. Now, from there, glaze. Egg yolk only, that gives that sort of royal texture to the puff pastry. Now, with the marzipan, take your box grater, get the small side of the grater, and just go straight down. Be careful, it does stick. I've frozen my marzipan, and so it's like a solid block, and that helps to sort of create a lot easier shards, okay? And you'll see as I start to grate it, it sort of crumbles quickly, which is nice. There, that's what we want. And all we do now is just get that very quickly and sort of line the top of that, okay? From there, spread that out. It almost looks like sort of grated cheese, but what it does, it gives a really nice sort of grate, and it sort of coats the tart beautifully. Break it up so it doesn't all clump together. Again, one more, and move it around so it separates. Nice. Now look, sprinkle that going down and lightly put it on there. So, I said to you, I don't mind going over 10 minutes, especially for a dessert. And let's be honest, it's very hard to get a seriously good dessert done in 10 minutes, but this is gonna be close, let me tell you. From there, marzipan, favourite. A little bit of sugar, and sprinkle sugar over that. You can see we're starting to layer up that puff pastry. Like I said, short crust is just as good, but puff pastry gives it a little bit of lightness. Now for the rhubarb. Right, start layering these in now, okay? And just run down the side and make sure it sits within that box, okay? Beautiful. When they get a little bit thick, just open them up and do the big ones in half. down. Now, the secret behind the marzipan is to make sure we've got that wonderful sweetness against the tartness of the rhubarb, and just sit that on there. A little bit of sugar on top, and then into the oven. And watch the glaze take off. The sugar goes on top, and that gives that nice sort of sweet, sugary effect, especially the tartness of the rhubarb. In we go. And literally, they're gonna take about 8 or 9 minutes. Right, they're in. How do we feel that time? Let's get those almonds and let's make the glaze. Pan on for the almonds. Okay, I wanna toast these almonds. They're so tasty when you toast them. But I wanna make them a little bit more sort of extra special. Dry pan, okay, flatten them out and literally just lightly season them. So they're sort of almost like a sort of toasted, salty almond that sits on top. In this pan, we're gonna make a beautiful glaze. The secret here, we'll start off with a bit of honey, okay? And then we use that blood orange, and this will really help form a nice glaze to go on the top of that rhubarb. So bring that honey to the boil, okay? Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Beautiful. Honey and blood orange glaze that goes on top of the rhubarb sits brilliantly, okay? From there, I'm gonna get my zest of my blood orange. That goes in. And then we're gonna sort of almost flavor that with the actual blood orange little segments. Here I've got my mascarpone cream cheese, which gives that nice sort of added silky finish to that rhubarb tart. Okay, in. Now, and turn that round. Take all those bits out there. Look at that beautiful flavour. Nice. Almonds get nice and toasted, and with the salt on there, they sort of smell almost like a sort of salted almond. Really nice flavour. From there, top and tail. Find the base. Find the top. So very carefully go round, and literally take off that pith. Now, tarts from the oven. The colour of these blood oranges are beautiful. Almonds. Look at that now. Beautiful. Beautiful. Onto a plate. How long, please? 7 minutes gone. Almonds come out. And then look, from here, continue going all the way around. And look, we're gonna do this now over that caramel. Turn that upside down, just take off that little bit there. Now, it's unfair to be penalised for the time in the oven, but the actual prep time, trust me, is less than 10 minutes. Take these little segments off. Go in, it's these little sort of guided segments. Goes in. I want half the juice in there, okay? And half the juice in the mascarpone cream cheese. Look at the colour of that, it's so beautiful. Now, wash your hands. Check my tarts. She's starting to rise. She's starting to rise. From there, give that a little beat. And look, a little bit of juice. We've got that really nice zest. And it's a lovely way of finishing a dessert. So good. I'll put a little bit more of my zest in there. That helps to colour the cream. Okay, so we've got the nice tartness of the mascarpone, and then we've got the beautiful, vibrant glaze, blood orange glaze that sits on top of that rhubarb and gives that nice sort of sweetness to the tartness of that rhubarb. Shake all that in there. Beautiful. Nice, mix, 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 and that's ready. We're gonna quenelle that on the side of the plate using a really nice hot spoon so we can lift this thing up. Right, time for a cup of tea while I wait for my tarts. Oh, come, holy faithful. Boom. the worst bit about being a chef. Waiting. Yes. Right. Now, take a look at these babies. Come on. 60 seconds. A little glaze, a little glaze, a little glaze, a little glaze. Here we go. So, take that glaze over, use the back of the spoon and glaze. Boy, they smell delicious. Honestly, even cold, they're delicious. Glaze. Put those little segments in there. Lift that up. Now, that is beautiful. And then look, how do we lift that? How do we literally just... Yes, yes, yes. Stop rushing me. And then from there, look, lift that up. Let's use this one here first. A few nuts. Little nuts on there, and then creme fraiche. Yes! Beautiful, amazing rhubarb tart, done in 12 minutes. To all of you, thank you for watching Ramsay in 10. If I went too quick, I apologise, but slow it down. Now, don't forget to pick up Ramsay in 10 cookbook inspired by this series. And trust me, you're going to come out a much better chef. And if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to my amazing YouTube channel for more. Good luck.